Hi, my name is Miguel Refutation. Today I will be responding to the claim that states aspartame causes zero harm to the human body. My opponent declared that 1, aspartame is unrelated to weight gain, that 2, aspartame is safe to consume, and that 3, aspartame bodily defects are a myth. I will respond to these claims with my own. With 1, aspartame is related to weight loss and not completely obsolete to weight gain. Number 2, saying that the fact that aspartame is safe to consume has seemingly become a rather undisputed fact among researchers, and that 3, more or less, that his third claim more or less belongs in his second claim, seen as it is safe to consume, then it should not cause bodily defects. So my response to his first claim is that aspartame is related to weight loss and not obsolete to weight gain. He uses a quote from Malabara Health stating that aspartame is 200 times sweeter than sugar and is used in many beverages and foods. Because of this, you can use much less of it and still achieve sweetness. A major selling feature of aspartame is that it contains far fewer calories, 2 calories per teaspoon, than sugar and can therefore help with weight loss. He then goes ahead to give a comparison between diet soda and regular soda, but he neglects the fact that there are still calories in the drink, which may lead to a small amount of weight gain, but nothing compared to that of a regular drink. He then states, and I quote, "Diet sodas do not contain calories, which prove logically that they can't increase weight," which he goes against his first piece of evidence, stating that talking about aspartame, contains far fewer calories, 2 calories per teaspoon. This is later supported by Jillian Michaels, who is an expert trainer in physical fitness disciplines, as she claims that if you want to drink diet soda, consider that the no-calorie claim doesn't actually mean 0. Although diet sodas with aspartame may be labeled as calorie-free, aspartame breaks down in the body into methanol and amino acids, which generate calories. The caloric amount is small enough for beverages companies to list as non-caloric, far fewer than 5 calories per labeled serving according to FDA standards. This is also supported by the Cleveland Clinic that supports this claim, stating that label claims can be labeled as caloric-free if they have less than 5 calories. Weight loss is also subjective to the individual, and someone trying to gain mass or muscle who is gaining weight does not necessarily mean that they are causing their body harm. My second claim is that that aspartame being safe to consume has seemingly become a rather undisputed fact among researchers. Aspartame has been thoroughly studied since its release in 1983, and throughout each trial, the general consensus has been that aspartame is safe to consume, and show that it is safe to consume along with not causing any startling side effects, such as cancers. Science Direct, which is a medical journal and scientific database, reports that its safety was further confirmed through studies in several human subpopulations, including healthy infants, children, adolescents, and adults, obese individuals, diabetics, lactating women, and individuals with heterozygous PKUH for the generic disease phenylketonuria, which is when people have a decreased ability to metabolize the essential amino acid phenylalanine. It is clear that aspartame is safe, and there are zero unresolved questions regarding its safety under conditions of intended use. Magazine from the New Zealand Medical Journal states that therefore all overall conclusions of this study is that based on the current information available, aspartame is safe to consume, even at levels much higher than the highest users are currently consuming. Along with that, the National Cancer Institute states that its 2005 study raised the possibility that very high doses of aspartame might cause lymphoma and leukemia in rats. But after reviewing the study, the FDA identified many shortcomings in it and did not alter its previous conclusion that aspartame was safe to consume. They also state that increasing consumption of aspartame containing beverages was not associated with the development of lymphoma, leukemia, or brain cancer. And the 2013 review of the epidemiologic evidence also found that no consistent association between the use of aspartame and a cancer risk. There is more than enough evidence presented by the speaker that shows this is an informative speech rather than anything controversial, because that although people may believe it to be harmful, according to studies, shows that aspartame is safe to consume. And my response to his third claim is that aspartame, which is aspartame bodily defects are missed, is that this claim more or less belongs to claim number 2, seeing as it is, if it is safe to consume, it should not cause bodily defects. Thank you.
Right, the only place where there's any dispute is on that first point in terms of its relevance to weight gain or loss, and I couldn't quite figure out what the trainer's quote was about how the weight gain is affected by the amino acids that are produced by this and how significant the caloric intake is going to be and how it might affect weight gain or loss in one direction or the other. That's the only place that there's any dispute. Everything else, your argument basically comes down to the notion that there is no argument about this. There's no evidence that suggests that it's not unsafe or that any of the myths are true. Therefore, there is no argument about this. I think you need to kind of give us a little bit more context for that position, both before you start engaging in providing better evidence than the advocate did about the safety of, I know you're over there somewhere. There you are. Better evidence than the advocate did about the safety of aspartame or aspartame, depending upon how you want to pronounce it. We had that discussion in class about it. So when I looked it up on the dictionary.com, I played the name on the little speaker. Yeah, it sounded like I was saying it, but it didn't sound like it was automatically wrong to say it the other way. Probably your Boston accent says it the other way. And like I said, you have a whole bunch of evidence that talks about how relatively safe it is. So the argument here is that there's no dispute on this. There's no inference being drawn. There isn't a second side that's provided any data to support this conclusion. And so I just think you need a little bit more of an explanation about why that means that there is no argument there. And the third point basically is just subsumed by the second point. I thought that like I said, the first point was a little bit confusing. I wasn't sure what point you were trying to make there. Everything on the second point is an argument that says that there is no argument and that you just need to clarify that a little bit more before you begin presenting all that evidence and summarize it more by talking about some of the things in the model that are missing. All right, thank you.